injured my back when I was 20. I was bucked off a horse. I also had a long sporting history of skiing, hockey. So my body was pretty battered. Coming to your retreat was really life-changing. Became very, very chronic over the years. I had a lot of exercises I did, and if I worked hard, but things like if I went and slept on a different bed, I would be struggling to get out of the bed in the morning. Brushing my teeth, I'd have to kneel on the floor to brush my teeth. When it was bad, it would go through phases. Every so often it would go into a massive spasm, and then I would literally be hardly able to walk. I tended to always work through it. So in the morning, my routine would be to crawl out of bed. I'd do all these exercises, and then I had a number of stretches. So it was a good 25 minutes before my day started, and that's how I managed my back. And now I jump out my bed and go about my day. And I wouldn't just say I'm managing my pain now, I'd say my back is cured, completely cured. Understanding and knowing my body now the way I do, I don't even worry that it's going to come back. Do you know, it's gone. The practice, it doesn't come back. So the horse riding, I used to always get off the horse and go, oh God, my hips, and I don't do that. I don't get that anymore with the horse riding. So it's really affected that. And I had a lot of knee pain. That was again something I was just told it was wear and tear from I did marathon. I did a lot of long distance running when I was younger. And that definitely, the knee pain has gone. I don't know if you remember the first hike we did, you talked about how you walk down a hill, and just again, the whole change of body position when you're hill walking. So that's all resolved as well. I feel about 20 years younger physically than I did when I came to you. And that's not an exaggeration. I really do. It's just really changed my life completely. So much I get quite emotional, really, because I felt like I was just aging, as everyone says you're going to age. And of course, it's just nonsense. Just because you're 60 doesn't mean your body has to start falling apart. I came to you, I'd just lost my mum. I'd been caring for her for a number of years. So, I had a huge amount of emotional stuff going on at the time. It was a big transition. And I think the practice for me is also, it releases a lot of emotion. It opens you up. For example, that was another, God, I did have a lot of injuries, didn't I? I had a very bad shoulder injury skiing. I tore the rotator cuff. And although I'd had that all fixed with physio, over the years, it just was stiff. There was a lot I couldn't do. And that I just noticed last week in class when you were doing something, and I thought, oh, I can do that now. I think the challenge for me now is bringing the practice into my everyday life and really making sure that when I'm at work, it's not practice and then go to work. It's actually bring the practice into my work. The pausing, the just giving ourselves time to be present. My family really notice it. They say like I'm completely changed since I started doing this. That, my eyes are brighter, I'm holding myself differently. I'm not just saying that because we're here. And that's why I think I'm still doing it. Whereas I've done a lot of other, started a lot of other things, but not kept them up. But this one, I really notice if I miss, need to get back. And what I love about your classes is, I can access a recording. So, if I've got a day and I just think, even if I take a half-hour one or a 20-minute one, that's enough. Because it was hard. That first retreat, it was difficult. It was undoing all the things I had been taught. I was a sports person. I was a sports coach. I was a ski instructor. All the things I'd learned about what you should do and how you should hold your body were being unpicked, because your practice is the opposite of everything that I had been taught. So in the beginning, I did find it really, really hard to do, but I had those couple of moments in that first retreat of real release, quite emotional release, and it really made me think, no, there's something here that I need to really work on. Also that lovely spiritual side to it, which I really enjoy, and the breathing, and practice introduced me to lots of things, like the Wim Hof stuff and even the barefoot stuff. That was another injury I had that, I had a Morton's neuroma in my foot, so I wore special insoles. When I came home, I thought, I'm going to continue this, no gluten, no dairy, purely for the hip joint pain, which hadn't come out, although it was a lot better, although the back pain had gone, that hadn't completely resolved at all. That took quite a long time. But I thought, I wonder how much of it is linked with the diet as well. So I carried that on, and I lost 2.5 stone, which is, I'm trying to think what that is in kilos, sorry.
You've lost
Yeah.
15.8
Yeah.
kilos.
Food's a big part of the retreats, isn't it? And it really is. It's part of that whole process. It's the fuel you put into your body. There's a bigger picture here. There's me and the people that are with you, but I think there's a bigger picture about how
Absolutely.
we look after our bodies as we get older. And it's such a holistic, your practice is very holistic. I think that's what I love. It's not just, sometimes you go to a practice and it's very isolated in the way it just works in its own little world, but yours isn't. I feel it's enabled me to really look at all aspects of my life.